Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? RB here, Philly Take with RB, and you already know what to do. Go ahead and smash that like button for me, hit that subscribe if you're new, and ding that notification bell so you're instantly notified whenever I upload or go live. Today we are back discussing some Philadelphia 76ers, and the NBA had recently announced that the season is planning to start in the end of December, which is just 2 months away. So you know what that means. We have a lot of work to do, a lot of things to analyze, and the Sixers got to get things rolling here in order to position ourselves to make a championship run next year. And the number one thing we should be focused on right now is the NBA draft, which starts in less than a month. The Sixers have to capitalize in this draft, and we are going to look at a bunch of different prospects who could potentially get picked at pick 21. They will all be on a playlist on my channel. Be sure to leave any other suggestions down below. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and check out our first NBA draft prospect at pick 21 for the Sixers, and it is Desmond Bane, shooting guard, TCU. 4-year senior coming out, and Desmond Bane jumps off the tape. Is one of the purest shooters in the draft. Is just electrifying on the court, and his range is absurd. The way that this kid is able to knock down shots. Now, Desmond Bane, a little bit of background about him, comes from Richmond, Indiana. He's 22 years old, 4-year senior out of TCU. He's 6'6", 215 pounds, maybe a little more oversized in terms of a two guard, but Desmond Bane is able to get it done on a court. Now, one of the rare things about him is that he actually has a negative wingspan. One of few guys that have a shorter wingspan than his height, and his wingspan is 6 feet 4 inches, and he stands at 6'6" inches. Now, a lot of people are viewing that as a big weakness, but we will see how it's able to translate out. Obviously, hasn't affected him so far. Desmond Bane has also been in the media a lot, especially with Sixers talk, as he has been linked to Philadelphia. Now, he has admitted openly to the public that there has been mutual interest with him and Philadelphia in terms of the draft. He said he's been talking to a lot of teams, but, quote, there has been a lot of interest with Philly. He says, we feel good, him and his agent, we feel good where we're at. I want to read a couple of quotes that Desmond Bane said real quick about the Sixers, because he obviously understands. He gets it here in Philly, and I like to hear it. He says, quote, shooting is a necessity for them. They need a lot of shooting. Obviously, the attention that Simmons and Embiid demand is huge. So guys like me are very valuable that can play off the ball and make shots, have similar success to J.J. Redick and Landry Shamet in previous years running off screens. I feel like I can provide some of those same things. I absolutely love hearing that. I want to note that over 4 seasons at TCU, he shot over 43%, 43.3% to be exact, from long range, and that is absolutely beautiful. It continues to get better. He even responded to a Twitter post that a Sixers fan page put up of him cropped in a Sixers jersey and said that it was tough and that he really liked it. So Desmond Bane seems to be clicking on all cylinders with the Sixers. Now let's go ahead and talk about the good, the bad, everything in between, and then we'll give a final analysis of whether the Sixers should go out and target this guy in the draft. Now, before we do that right quick, I want to say that Desmond Bane, really, when I watch his tape, he reminds me, honestly, of an oversized J.J. Redick or a Gary Trent Jr., a guy like that who is able to create his own off the ball and find his spots on the floor. But really, the one guy he really reminds me of when I look at Desmond Bane is Buddy Hield. I see so much of Buddy in Desmond Bane with his shooting ability and how he's able to create his own off the ball. It's really a special talent. Desmond Bane, over 4 seasons at TCU, like I said, shot above 43% from long range, and he never missed a game. He's durable, and we know that is key with the Sixers because we need guys who can stay healthy. Now, in his past year, his senior year at TCU, he started all 32 games. He averaged 16.6 points a game, 6.3 rebounds a game, 3.9 assists, almost 4 assists a game is very key, and that's getting better and better. He shot 45% from the field and 44.2% from long range. Over 44% from long range. It's absolutely beautiful. And this was almost on 6.5 3-point attempts per game. He's averaging 6.5 3 attempts a game, and he's shooting 44% from the field. This is very key, and he's, like I said, one of the best shooters in the draft. He's just under 79% from the charity stripe, averaging a steal and a half per game, a half a block per game, and it does average a couple turnovers a game, so he's got to take a little better care of the ball. And in his senior year, I want to also note that Desmond Bane Bane is the only player from the Big 12 to rank top 10 in all three of points, rebounds, and assists. And he also went from 2.4 assists in his junior year up to almost 4 assists. So the guy's getting better. He's seeing the floor a lot better, and he's becoming much smarter of a basketball player, in my opinion. It's also key to note that he made a three-pointer in 87 of his last 97 games. He went 87 of his last 97 games in college. He made a three-pointer. This guy is going to have one of those long streaks in the NBA. He's going to be able to knock down. Desmond Bane is a pure shooter. Like I said, I mean, you can put this guy in the corner. You can put him at the top of the key. You can have him, spot up from mid-range. You can have him spot out from 35 feet out, 40 feet out. It doesn't matter. This guy is going to let it unleash, and he's going to be able to knock shots down from anywhere on the court. When he's hot, when he gets into that rhythm, and you can see his shooting, his one elite skill come out. I really truly believe he has one elite skill, but it really is that good where it's going to propel him up in this draft. I mean, it's going to be hard to stop him. Now, like I said, he's getting much better in terms of seeing the court. He doesn't have the flashiest handles. He's not the most athletic, flashy type of player, but he just plays smart. He plays strong, and he uses his strength. He's a strong guy and uses it to his advantage. He's been pretty solid in the pick and roll game as a ball handler, and I think he's going to improve that as he gets up more in the NBA, learning the NBA style of play. I do want to add that in the Big 12, he was the #1 scorer off the ball. Like, he is able to come off. Doesn't matter if it's a baseline screen. It doesn't matter if it's a drop screen or whatever. You can put this guy in a bunch of different situations, and he's going to be able to find his spots and get separation from defenders. And the Sixers' #1 need is shooting. He's going to be able to knock it down in the basket. I think he's going to be an excellent shooter. I talked about his strength. He's able to find his way to the basket. Not too flashy of a player. Just is able to use his body and torque himself and able to get into the best position to make the shot. So I think Desmond Bane uses his IQ. He's a very smart player. And one thing about him that I noticed that jumps off the tape as well, he has a lot of swag. He has a personality, whether it's on defense. He's a decent defender, but he plays up tempo. He plays with a lot of motivation, and he plays hard, and that's going to propel him a lot in the NBA. He's a high motor type of guy, and he's very smart in terms of his playing style. So I think Desmond Bane, that's one key thing you see with a lot of young guys. They need to be smart at the next level. Now, in terms of where Desmond Bane needs to improve going forward, I think the #1 obvious thing is his jump shot style. The way that his jump shot is constructed. Desmond Bane, as you probably have seen by now, has a non-traditional jump shot. It's very unorthodox. He starts his point of release much lower than a lot of other shooters. It seems to be long and lanky, and his lower body is very stiff. That definitely is going to have to get at least tweaked a little bit at the next level, especially with his short wingspan, to avoid getting a lot of block shots. We've seen guys, even in recent memory, like Alonzo Ball, who's been a decent shooter in college, but when he gets to that next level, well, it just is not panning out. And he's working it out. It's taken some time, definitely taken a couple years, but Lonzo has finally started to hit, find that curve now. I think the same could happen for Desmond Bane, but the fact that he's shooting over 44% from three-point range while having a non-traditional jump shot, I mean, I can't even imagine if a coach can get him in that right zone. The other thing I'm looking at is his lack of athleticism. Like I said, he's strong. He's able to play smart and get to where he needs to be. But at the same time, he's slow. He doesn't have a lot of athleticism. He's not going to be a guy who's going to be very flashy. He's not going to be able to move his feet quick. And I've noticed on some of his assignments, he is late on getting to the ball. In terms of the offensive side of the ball, Desmond Bane doesn't have the best handles as well. I think, like I said, he's going to start off as a big catch and shoot type of guy. He's going to be able to roam with the off-ball screens, and I expect Doc Rivers to implement a lot of them into our offense. It's what we desperately need, and I think Desmond Bane would be able to succeed off of that, but he's definitely going to have to learn how to put it on the floor. He really cannot create his own shot, and at the next level, I think a catch and shoot guy, for example, like a Buddy Hield, is starting to do so, and you can see how it's starting to revolutionize his game. I view Desmond Bane as a decent defender, and I think he's going to be able to guard probably at least 3 to 4 positions on the floor, but in terms of these smaller guards that he might be switched onto as a 2 guard, well, he's going to have to learn the footwork, he's going to have to learn the technique, and he's going to have to be able to shift his body into some of these smaller guys in order to avoid getting beat to the rim too much. Outside of that, I don't really see too much else. He needs to be confident. Honestly, some of the things, for example, like his jump shot, are just things, and the shape that he's in are things that will get improved at the NBA level when you get these NBA developmental coaches, when you get these strength and conditioning coaches on the big level that are making the big time bucks. Well, these are just things that are going to naturally occur. Overall, I think Desmond Bane would be a solid pick for the Philadelphia 76ers at pick 21. He is being projected in the late first round, probably in the 20s, more so the mid 20s, and maybe could even sneak into the second round where the Sixers have a couple early second round picks. I think Desmond Bane is a top priority for the Sixers in terms of shooting. Now, in my personal opinion, I want to go for a on-ball guard that is going to be able to create his own shot and a guy who's going to be able to play alongside Ben Simmons, but at the same time, you can always pick up those guys in the second round like a Shake Milton, and at the end of the day, if a pure shooter like Desmond Bane is on the board at 21, I think the Philadelphia 76ers seriously need to consider picking this guy. He needs to be in their top 3 or 4 draft pick selections for pick 21, in my opinion, in my estimate, in order to improve this offseason. Now, if you go out and make a trade for Buddy Hield, maybe you don't need a guy like this, but those are just the ifs and the what ifs and all that. So we will see what happens. I think Desmond Bane would be a solid selection for the Sixers at pick 21. Be sure to let me know all your thoughts down below in the comment section. Leave any names or suggestions for any other prospects you think the Sixers should target or want me to check out. Give me all your thoughts down below. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.